Hey, it's Kyle here, and I'm excited to look back at my favorite books that I read in 2023. This is an annual tradition I do. At the start of a new year, I kind of look back at the previous year and highlight my favorite books I read in that year. I've already posted videos for my favorite novels and nonfiction books I read in 2023, so I hope you check those out. But today's video, I'll be highlighting my 5 favorite Star Wars books that I read in 2023, so I hope you enjoy that. If you're interested in learning more about any of these books, I've done individual reviews for each of these on my channel, so check those reviews out. So hopefully you'll enjoy this video. If you do, hit the like button. If you have yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. And that being said, let's look at my 5 favorite Star Wars books that I read in 2023. First up, you have Cataclysm by Lydia King. This is a book in the High Republic series, specifically Phase 2 of the High Republic series. The reason I picked this book is it introduced one of my favorite characters in the High Republic series, and that's Axel Greylark. He was the son of one of the chancellors of the Republic, a very distinguished family, and he is definitely feeling the pressure of trying to live up to this family, but at the same time being his own individual. He's definitely dealing with a lot of stuff. He's one of those characters when you read him, you love to hate him. He's definitely not a good person, but he's utterly fascinating. And throughout the Phase 2 of the High Republic series, anytime that Axel was in a storyline, I felt like he made it better and more interesting. He's one of the more well-developed characters, I believe, in this phase. And I think Cataclysm did a great job of introducing this character and getting me to really find him interesting and kind of become invested in him to kind of see where it would happen with him throughout Phase 2 of the High Republic series. So, Cataclysm, Lydia King, my 5th favorite Star Wars book in 2023. Next up is my favorite book of Phase 2 of the High Republic series, and that is Path of Vengeance by Cavan Scott. First off, this is probably my favorite cover of any book in 2023. It's absolutely beautiful cover art. Love this book. Cavan Scott has definitely been one of my favorite Star Wars authors in the past few years. This book specifically, the exploration of the Path of the Open Hand and Marta Rowe specifically, I really enjoyed. Phase 2 did an amazing job of exploring the Path of the Open Hand and kind of exploring the different aspects of a cult and how that impacts different individuals. And to see how a character like Marta Rowe developed over the course of the series in her relationship with the cult of Path of the Open Hand and kind of moving up from being a follower to kind of like a mid-level leader to ultimately a leader of the organization was fascinating. I don't think I've really read a series that's done as an interesting job depicting a cult and the various aspects that cults can have on people as Phase 2 of the High Republic series did with the Path of the Open Hand. Path of Vengeance was an amazing book and by far my favorite Phase 2. So really love this book a lot. Next up, my 3rd favorite is a very different one because it's a nonfiction book. It is Star Wars Multiverse by Carmelo Esterrich. It's part of the Quick Takes and Movie and Pop Culture series. I've had a chance to actually meet Carmelo. I got to know him through a connection Dragon Con. We've done some stuff on YouTube together, some kind of joint videos on my channel and his channel. So you might have seen Carmelo before on this channel if you're a long-time viewer. But I really love this book a lot. It explores the various aspects of our culture and how it is depicted in Star Wars. I found it utterly fascinating as somebody who loves political science and studying various aspects of culture. To kind of have that element explored through Star Wars was an idea that really appealed to me a lot. This book was utterly fascinating, and I think if you would enjoy kind of taking a look at Star Wars from an academic perspective, you'll really love this book by Carmelo. So definitely check out Star Wars Multiverse. It is an amazing, fascinating read. Highly recommend it. Next up, my 2nd favorite Star Wars book that I read in 2023 was Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. I always wanted to read this book. This had been published a few years ago, but I had never got around to it. But with Ahsoka coming out on Disney Plus, the series, I'm like, hey, this is a good time to kind of reconnect with the character, maybe read this book. Just get me fully invested in Ahsoka again before I start watching the series. And I'm really glad I finally did read this book because I really enjoyed it. The way that Ahsoka was depicted in this book, I really enjoyed a lot. The author did an amazing job of staying true to Ahsoka as she was depicted in the various animated series, but at the same time developing the character more. Um, Basically, this is kind of exploring what Ahsoka was like during the early days of the Empire and how she's becoming to adjust to her new reality of like, I'm not a Jedi anymore. I have to be kind of in hiding. How do I want to live? Do I want to just try to blend into the background and disappear? Or do I want to try to resist and fight the Empire? And this book does an amazing job of showing how Ahsoka grapples with this decision. So if you enjoy Ahsoka as a character, I would highly recommend you read this book if you haven't yet. Then my favorite Star Wars book that I read in 2023 was the last Star Wars book that I read in 2023. It is the first book in Phase 3 of the High Republic series. So the newest phase and the last phase of the High Republic series. And that is Eye of Darkness by George Mann. This book really kickstarts Phase 3 off to an amazing start. Phase 1 was definitely my favorite phase so far. I enjoyed it a lot more than Phase 2, even though I did enjoy Phase 1. Phase 3 kind of reconnects you with a lot of characters in Phase 1. And I was kind of a little nervous because Phase 2 went back, was kind of a prequel. So I was a little worried when we started Phase 3 if I would feel the same investment to these characters that I'd become very fascinated with in Phase 1, but had been away from for a while. But this book definitely got rid of those worries right away. It fully got me reconnected to these characters immediately. It's a fascinating story. High tension. The entire time I was reading this book, I was stressed out about what was going to happen. There were several characters I was worried about, like, is this character going to make it or not? And definitely, after I read this book, I was so excited for the rest of Phase 3. Loved it. This is one of my favorite books, the High Republic series in general, just not for 2023. I would say this is maybe my second or third favorite book in the series. I think The Light of the Jedi is still my favorite, which was the first book of this series. But this and maybe Fallen Stars is maybe a number 2. I'd have to really think about it. But I really enjoyed The Eye of Darkness by George Mann. So if you've been reading the High Republic series and you haven't started Phase 3 yet, start it. You won't be disappointed. The Eye of Darkness was an amazing start to this phase. So those are my 5 favorite Star Wars books that I read in 2023. Let me know, what was your favorite Star Wars book that you read in the year? Maybe it was a comic book. Let me know. And what Star Wars content are you most excited for in 2024? Again, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time. And may the Force be with you.